Welcome back, everybody. We're about to hop into our first adventure of the evening, which I have entitled Codzilla. No possible guess about, I think it's 2 weeks in a row where I've had one where maybe you can guess a little bit about what the adventure is going to be like from the title. Yeah, we're going to hop into that in just a moment. But first, as always, we are going to introduce our heroes today. So we have Elysia Silverblood with us. Welcome back, Elysia. Good to see you again.
Hello, Pete. It's good to be back.
Elysia, tell me, how have you been as of late?
Been quite well.
I have a more complicated question for you than I think I would usually ask, and something I wanted to ask you about for a while now. When you became a myth-tier adventurer, you chose the title The Moonborn. Is that something that you relate to, or is this something that's just kind of true for you, Elysia? And if that's a difficult question, then of course you can always hold off and answer later.
I suppose it might be something of a difficult question, but so much of my life I derive from my work in the church and from Selune. It is part of who I am. It really was sort of my second birth into, well, where I am today.
That's a very interesting way of looking at it. So you're saying that you're kind of in kind of working for Selune and finding this, finding just this truth in Selune's light. You were kind of almost had this new birth under the moon. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I didn't know if it was a more sort of direct connection to Selune in some way, yeah, it's nice to know that. I'm sorry to ask you such a heavy question here at the beginning, Elysia, but it's something I've long been curious about. On a lighter note, I'm just how you been? Just are you feeling well? You ready for your adventure today?
Indeed, I hear that it's going to be a nice little fishing village.
Yeah, just a small halfling village. Apparently, they've seen something pretty big, and they've called in the myths, which is usually not a great sign, but maybe hopefully it's just a nice fishing day. So I wish you the best of luck in any of your and you catch something good, Elysia.
Let us hope. And Pete, the answer to some questions aren't always mutually exclusive.
I will keep that in mind, Elysia. That's very good to know. Welcome back, and I'd like to next introduce Sotaria. How are you doing tonight, Sotaria?
Say it.
Sotaria Avenia, the Unholy Empress of Manipulation, and I can't read the rest of it. I believe if I could take my best, and better than that lousy no good wizard named Bartholomew. I know that's not exactly it. I basically what it comes down to is Sotaria Avenia, the person that is better than Bartholomew.
Okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah, fair enough. Sotaria, would you mind just for my benefit, so I can make sure I get it right next time? Could you give me the run through yourself?
Hold on.
It's a tough one.
You would put me on the spot again.
Yeah, that's what you get. You're gonna ask me. I'll throw it right back. It's a tough name. Next time we'll both have it next time. For now, Sotaria,
yeah,
how have you been?
I've been fine. Money's coming in. I'm a happy camper right now. Also, too, I think I need to employ some more tabaxi. There's a new one named Dagger that I'm looking into.
Oh.
Interesting sort of fellow.
I know that you're already working with Jade. Did you meet Dagger through Jade? You're saying more tabaxi.
No, Jade's been hearing about him and is like really, really, really hyper and really, really, really wants to do an adventure with him. So,
Well, it's always good to see you making friends among Bartholomew's adventuring troupe. You guys have a lot to go through, and it's good for you all to stick together because these can be pretty harrowing, despite the fun I think a lot of you tend to have.
Almost too much fun for some of us to even have.
Yes, but that maybe that's a topic for another time. So Taria, I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and I'm glad to hear that you're raking in the money. I know that you joined Bartholomew's adventuring troupe with some contention, but it looks like things are finally starting to go your way. I mean, through your own hard work.
Yep, I can't complain. Not one bit.
Excellent. Well, welcome back, Sotaria. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
And Jenny Galanodel is with us tonight, the protector of Bartholomew's adventurers, of course. How are you tonight, Jenny?
I'm fine. And speaking of story for another time, just a quick shout out to Fox Sakes, the one true king and sword that cut the heaven.
Wherever Fox Sakes is, a shout out to you from me as well. Jenny, have you ever had to? I know that you are the protector of Bartholomew's adventurers. How do you, in your day-to-day, how do you go about, I know you have your keep, which kind of tells where a lot of folks are, but how do you go about protecting Bartholomew's adventurers? Have you ever had to save Fox Sakes?
There's a lot of important details that I cannot discuss in public
of course.
About, with the whole Bartholomew's DNCA and all that, stuff.
No, I know there's a lot that we can't, but just in so many, I mean, can you give me, have you ever had to save any of your siblings out of a tight spot? Or is there any, kind of daring tale of rescue you can tell us?
There will be no discussions of any of Bartholomew's adventures or their downtime activities, I'm afraid.
Well, unfortunately, if Bartholomew said it, then there's nothing that nothing I can really do about it. I did have a
question for you, Pete.
I'd be happy to answer it if I can. Hope I can.
Have there ever been scenarios in which people who were too messy or unclean were forced to migrate to the Trash Kingdom?
Forced to migrate to the Trash Kingdom? They would have to be really messy for that. A forced exile is quite a punishment. But I'm sure there are. There are definitely folks in the world that even the Trash Kingdom wouldn't accept, because there's a line between thrifty and making use of the trash and accepting nature and just making a mess for a mess's sake.
Do you think that there's any resentment and that possibly that could be a future boss battle?
Kind of a villainous sort of just an individual who takes trash too far. I think that there are fiends like that could appear in the land of DnDTime from time to time. If you maintain vigilance, you might be able to, make sure that the Trash Kingdom remains exactly as clean as it's supposed to be.
Very good. It was wonderful talking to you. I always enjoy these discussions.
I do as well. Jenny, welcome back. It's good to see you. And last but not least, we have Krixus, the right hand of the cloud, with us tonight. Good evening, Krixus.
Praise the cloud.
Cloud be praised. So, Krixus, tell me, how have you been? What have you been up to as of late?
Well, considering that I don't have my citadel of intemperance, I've been kind of, beside myself. I've been having to use other people's kitchens. Can you believe that?
It's a travesty that you don't have access to all of the equipment that you need to create what is, frankly, your art.
Yes, at least now I can do chef romancy, thanks to Guy Fiery. It's such an honor.
Yes, and chef romancy is, of course, a even though you don't have all of your tools, if you know the tricks, you can do a little bit of chef romancy anywhere.
This is true. It can revive a dish from the dead, so to speak.
It's a great way to prevent food waste too, preventing things from spoiling in that way. So that's that's just another upside. So I hope that you're able to make do with that for now until you have the chance to reclaim the utensils that are rightfully yours.
Absolutely.
So Krixus, anything else new, or are you just ready to get out there and face whatever Bartholomew has in store for you today?
Yes, I'm ready to collect more ingredients, so to speak. You know how I like to collect things on my adventures.
We'll see if you're able to find anything. See if you're able to find anything that's worth cooking today. So without further ado, let us hop into that adventure. You begin in Bartholomew's shop proper, and Bartholomew's told you something a little bit different, and you're not sure that this has ever happened before, and it's after hearing what they want, it's a little bit surprising that it hasn't, but Bartholomew hands you over a sending stone that he seems to have opened up communication with an individual from, well, your contract for the day, and they wanted to speak to you before you came, and he hands it over to you. Would one of you like to accept it as Bartholomew holds it out?
I'll take it.
All right. Bartholomew goes, yes, Sotaria. If you wouldn't mind, they had a couple of questions. I guess they wanted to know what they were getting before they bought, or I don't know. Usually we don't get this much negotiation. They kind of just it doesn't. Anyway, you talk to them.
Doesn't our reputation precede us?
Well, that's what I said, but I think he wants
At least
to know.
some of us, anyways.
I think he wants to know what tier adventurers he's supposed to bring in. I'm not entirely sure on the details. Just if you could just talk to him, he's been bugging me quite a bit, frankly. And he hands you over the stone, which it's on right now. You can hear everything we're saying.
Hello.
Oh, hello there. It is. Hi. I am. Nice to meet you. Are you one of Bartholomew's adventurers? Who am I speaking to right now?
The Unholy Empress and Sotaria.
Oh, great. So you are, of course, I've heard of you, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to speak to a myth-tiered adventurer. I was trying to decide if this was even worthy of your time, and I didn't want to spend a whole bunch of money, and then you come out and think it's nothing. I think there's something, super big and scary in the lake near my village.
Uh-huh.
I've been fishing. Oh, I'm sorry, were you going to say something?
So what exactly do you want us to do, sweetheart?
Okay, well, I've been doing some fishing, and all the folks have been telling me that I'm some kind of fool and that there ain't anything down there, but folks from around the small kingdoms, they've been dumping stuff in our lake, and I think it's infecting the fish, and they're coming out all kinds of strange. And so, I don't know if you can, go underwater and look and see if there's anything down there, or, should I hire myths for this? Is this a myth job? I don't have a lot of resources, and so I'm really kind of strapping myself for cash to bring you all out. And as he's kind of in the middle of that sentence, you hear just kind of some static come through on the sending stone. I'm really kind of strapping myself out here. And could you hold on just a moment? And then you hear just some kind of and then you hear a very sort of low is sort of the sound that you hear. Because actually I think it would be great if you could come out. I'll have you immediately.
Huh, interesting. She looks over at Bartholomew. You better send this over there pretty quickly.
You sold them on yourselves, huh?
No, I think something came up that's too big for him to handle.
All right. Well then, is everyone ready to go?
Well, actually, Bartholomew, you could convince this man to pay extra for an expedited adventure team to be sent out.
I think he's about to get eaten.
Just let me throw me that stone, Sotaria, really quick. I'll see if I can just bargain. I'll see if I can just haggle a little bit.
Yeah, good luck with that. Here.
In the meantime, he kind of looks over. Well, in the meantime, while I talk to him, I'm just going to get you on the road. So without further ado, he snaps his fingers, and all of you find yourself transported to. You're kind of standing amongst the woods. There's a very small path, and there's a very rustic-looking There's a very rustic-looking sign that's pointing towards this, presumably this halfling village, the other kind of direction, as it has like the 2 arrows on it, just seems to lead out to a place called the Long Road, just a path through the small kingdoms. There's the sign directing you forward towards this village, and as it stands, it looks like the forest that you've appeared in is relatively calm.
I trust none of this. But come on, let's go.
All right. Does everyone just kind of begin the journey?
Yep.
Yes, let us be off.
Cool. So in that case, you guys begin working your way down the road towards this space, and it becomes clear to you that, there is a disturbance here of some kind, because the thing that you're starting to see is halflings. The first one that you see, it appears to be just a halfling family that has just cut and run up out of the village and are just sprinting ahead. They are the first kind of drop of water in a tide of people that seem to be like fleeing and evacuating down the path toward the village. And you hear a distant roar. The roar is more of it's actually less of a roar and more of just this strange, unearthly, like, grumble. This kind of sound that you hear just echoing and kind of splitting your ears in the distance. The source must have been incredibly loud.
Nice.
Do you guys want to like stop and talk to any of the any of the families or anything? Or
can we stop any of the families?
I mean, you can try. Or do you just like push forward and just begin running against the tide?
Push forward.
Jenny, you're just gonna run ahead. Jenny, you begin kind of pushing through the crowds. I imagine you have to split off a little bit through the woods to get to get around just the wave of halflings that is kind of running against you, the panic. What about Sotaria? You said you're going to try and just like communicate with someone?
I'm going to see if I can possibly trip one of the guys and see if I can actually get them to, and see, make it look like an accident.
I was going to say not on purpose, it's definitely on purpose.
Yeah, make it look like an accident, but and then possibly try and get some information out of them.
Okay.
Sotaria.
You're hanging with Sotaria, Elysia?
Yes.
What about you, Krixus? Are you hanging back and trying to talk, or are you going to forge ahead alongside of Jenny?
I will push past the small folk that are like Cornish game hens.
There's definitely some good eating in this crowd, Krixus, but that's it's not the most pressing concern right now. So Sotaria, for starters, could you make me a I think this is just going to be an athletics or acrobatics check to try and trip someone up. 22. There's kind of a portly halfling that's jogging along a little bit, and it's just a small kind of leg out, and he falls to the ground, kind of tumbling, and the tide of halflings just kind of rolls around him as he's kind of righting himself and getting up and catching his breath.
I'm also helping him up. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so the Unholy Empress, Sotaria, and I was really trying to figure out exactly what was going on. We were hired on a mission.
He kind of looks up at you, sees you and Elysia standing there. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, young ladies, for the help. You don't want to be going that way. There's some kind of giant clam or something up there.
Yeah. Oh, wait, did you say clam?
A giant clam? That's what it looked like. I saw it only for a second just over the tops of the buildings, but it towers over all of our houses.
If there's a I'm basically looking over at Elysium. I'm telling you guys now that if there's a giant pearl in there, I'm calling dibs.
We've got to help these people.
It's not worth it, young ladies. If there's a pearl inside of it, let someone else save yourselves. Get out of here. I'm gonna keep running. You should do the same. Thank you so much for your help, though.
Not a problem. And Sotaria automatically starts hoofing it because she's automatically thinking that there's a giant clam, there's a giant pearl in the clam. So she's heading over there because she's calling dibs on the big ass pearl.
All right, so Sotaria, you take off. Elysia, are you kind of doing the same, or are you have anything else to say to this guy? All right, yeah, Elysia. So you begin kind of ducking along as Jenny and Krixus, as you two who are, about a minute ahead, all things considered, are pushing forward. You can see up ahead there's a halfling that is acting maybe a little bit different than most of the crowd, and he's kind of like pointing out. He's kind of pointing out to some of the folks, and maybe a little bit arrogantly, kind of like calling out some like "I told you so." It's like, "I told you there was something big in the lake. I said it." He's kind of like standing above and like looking out in your direction, trying to like make eyes with you. You see him, Jenny and Krixus, before he's seen you, but from the voice and what you heard over the sending stone before, this is the person that hired you specifically.
Yeah, I'll head over.
Same.
All right, as he kind of puts eyes on you, just, oh, wonderful. Jenny and Krixus, right? Is it okay? Am I allowed to call you that? Do I have to call you the titles?
Jenny and Krixus is fine. Where is it?
It's fine.
All right, it's a big clam. Okay, here's the deal. I've been calling it Clamora. He kind of points over the way, and you can see over the housetops. You can't see whatever it is that's doing this, but you watch as the houses are small. They're scaled to halflings, but it's still a pretty big construction. What looks like a like kind of a central clock tower that's in this place just comes like tumbling down, and you can just see the back of what looks like a big kind of placid shell just kind of crest over the top for a moment, and another one of those terrible like gurgling roars. And he goes, "It's over that way. I don't know if you can beat that thing, frankly." He looks over at you. Jenny and Krixus. Oh, you were already running? Yep. You see he kind of hops down, and he's like running along behind you. He's not nearly as fast as you guys, and he's doing his best. You guys are like fighting the tide, and he's kind of shouting and kind of keeping up. And he goes, "That thing's pure evil. The one that I saw was scary, but I don't think it was this kind of just awful, destructive monster." And he keeps kind of like... he keeps kind of like following along and yelling, and Krixus, do you say anything to him, or he's trying to he wants to like stop and like talk to you for a minute, obviously, but Jenny's just kind of pushing forward. What are you doing, Krixus?
My goal is in sight. I'm following Jenny.
All right, you just kind of push forward, and in that case, Sotaria and Elysia, you can see this halfling kind of like helplessly trying to like call out to, Krixus and Jenny, as you two come up from behind and are kind of catching up, and they're far enough ahead in the crowd of people that are in the middle of their mass exodus here.
Is there any way I can pickpocket him?
You can also tell that this is your, you can hear his voice. It's the person that you were speaking to before. It would actually be decidedly easy to pickpocket this individual. In
that case, I'm having fun.
Go ahead and make me a sleight of hand check. 22. Yeah, you reach into his pocket. You prick yourself a little bit. It looks like he has a bunch of like fishing hooks and stuff in his pockets. And you pick another pocket. He's carrying some like string and fishing line, a few silver pieces. You've taken his stuff. He doesn't really have anything all that good in his like kind of coat pocket that he's wearing right now, but it's now your not good stuff.
She sighs. Should have picked someone else. Anyway, she keeps going and basically runs past them and basically seeing Jenny and Krixus. If that thing has a giant pearl in it, it's mine.
All right, you keep yelling out, and he's just kind of like, no, wait, oh, no. And Elysia, you run by, and he looks, go, you're Elysia, Moonborn, please. He looks over at you.
Please, what? I mean, I'm assuming we have to deal with this monster, right?
This isn't... Okay. And things are kind of like dying down as like the rush is starting to get like a lot of the stragglers here are starting to like move further away and like get out of the town. And there's a moment of calm where you can just see your friends who are starting to get up into just open field running towards the destruction. And he goes, it's just... this isn't even the monster that I wanted you to deal with.
Wait, there's another one?
He goes, well, it was down in the lake, and I could only see its shadow, but it was big, and it wasn't a clam. That's a big giant clam over there. It wasn't a clam, it was like a big fish sort of thing, but it had a tail, and it was just a shadow underneath the water, and it was far away, and I didn't even know if you'd be able to find it, but I don't think that's the one I saw, and if there's a lot of these things, I don't know how you're gonna be able to handle a bunch of them. What if this is just the first one? Be careful, what do we do?
Well, you know what they say about having to fight lots of monsters. Just, get them to infight, and let them do the work for you.
Is that really what... Okay. And he goes, can I help?
I don't know. What skill sets do you have?
I'm a fisherman by trade.
Well, I mean, if you can gather as many fish as you can, it might bait out another one of the monsters to begin taking care of this one.
Maybe. And he kind of runs off and kind of begins moving over towards the docks. You guys begin moving over in the direction of Clamora, as that halfling called him, and you can see now the creature before you is, well, just decidedly what those folks told you. A very, very large clam. You can see around the base, the joint where the clam kind of, connects. It's currently in the process of just smashing into a... Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized that my sound is not coming through my headphones, and you're probably hearing it on my mic. My apologies. You can see that the section in the town that it's currently in the process of destroying, you can see it opens its massive kind of clam mouth and brings it down, just crunching into a building and just shredding it in one big move. You then see it just kind of starts kind of building up some momentum and kind of like spinning around in place, and just starts sliding across the ground and just crashing and battering into another building. The first people to get there are Jenny and Krixus. And you see this massive clam that's just kind of wreaking wanton havoc. What do you guys do as you arrive? You hear Sotaria yelling behind you about something about a giant pearl.
How is this clam walking about the land?
That's a great question. You can see around the base where it kind of connects and the clam opens, you can see what looks like seaweed that's all kind of like coiled around and like woven into the clam, and that is like grown around it, and it looks like it's all like kind of less seaweed and more just like algae, but all these kind of like aquatic plants that are growing off the bottom of it. It's kind of like using them like tentacles to sort of ambulate along the ground. Its movement is inefficient, but it's moving.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's a terrifying monstrosity. It also has two. At the top of the shell, maybe one of its most striking feature is it has two big things on it that look like eyes, and they're very they're wide and almost cartoonish on the front of this thing. They're very just like wild and strange looking. These two big eyes that are on the front of this clam.
Are they like googly eyes?
Kind of.
How far away is this thing?
It's far away as you want it to be right now, as it's just wreaking kind of wanton havoc in the town. However close you want to approach.
I'll be 90 feet so that I can hex and blast it.
All right.
I have a plan as well.
What do you?
Call lightning.
Okay. You begin kind of summoning and kind of channeling lightning on the Clamora here, and both of you go ahead and pardon me. Make me attack rolls. You guys both get into action before anything else happens here. So it's a 20 and a dexterity saving throw, which this thing isn't terrible at, but it's not its strongest suit. So that's an 8 on that dexterity saving throw, and a 20 is going to just barely hit. You watch as you kind of fire it with this agonizing blast. It courses through the air, and it flies through and strikes, and right as Clamor is kind of like opening its mouth to chomp down on another building, the agonizing blast kind of slips through the open mouth into like the pink flesh within, and it kind of strikes it, and you hear it kind of let out another one of these gurgling. The lightning bolt, as this is happening, strikes down from above in the same instant, also kind of finding purchase. And you see it kind of shakes for a moment. And what's the total damage that you dealt there?
31.
31, and then you dealt 11 points of damage with that agonizing blast. So a total of 42 damage that Clamor takes in this moment. And as it takes all of this damage, the big clamshell just kind of shuts closed in kind of response to taking damage, and you just see its eyes kind of turn wildly towards you.
It's lightning, if that makes any difference as well.
Yes, I'm aware that it's lightning damage. It didn't seem to have any particular additional effect.
Okay.
Yeah, you see this happen. Clamor is now just kind of facing towards you. You're not in initiative at the moment. Yeah, you both make an attack about it. At this point, Sotaria, you arrive next to them. You see Krixus bring this lightning down, and you watch as Jenny kind of fires in this shot, and it strikes and kind of roars. Elysia, you're another moment behind, but both of you kind of catch up as well. Is there anything, what do you guys do? You guys continue to do? Clamor is not making a move towards you at the moment. Just looking at you.
She looks at the rest of them. I guess I get to get up close and 30 while you guys get to be all nice and safe and back.
As it should be.
Shut up, Krixus.
Well, you know, that's part of being a druid, you know.
Yeah. By the way, before you get any ideas, my kitchen is not functional, so you can't go cooking at my house.
That's all right. I can always go to Clinton's place.
With that, she automatically basically starts walking up to the clam.
Yeah, the clam is currently just unmoving, as it's kind of looking down towards you.
I suggest going for the eyes.
Who are you talking to?
Well, then if it can't see, then it's harder for it to attack you, isn't it?
Think about this again. What do I always do?
Yeah, sneak attack.
Go for the eyes.
go ahead. So you walk up to Clamora and you begin stepping forward. I imagine easing towards the creature a little bit, as cautiously as you can, getting ready for anything that might anything that might happen.
Actually, basically, as she's walking toward it, she automatically takes out her longbow and takes a shot toward the eyes.
All right. And you see that the eyes currently are closed, and as the eyes kind of close, they almost like tuck into the top a little bit. So it's a little hard to shoot at them, but there's a slight angle. Go ahead and make me an attack roll. 13.
Oops.
13. The creature isn't moving right now, and it is massive. So, I mean, your longbow connects, but you watch as the arrow flies into it, it just kind of clinks harmlessly off of Clamora's shell.
I was hoping that would have made him mad. Oh.
What are the rest of you doing? Elysia, you haven't acted yet. What are you up to right now?
After seeing those arrows more or less tink harmlessly off the shell, I'll ready up Monty and prepare a fireball should the shell open.
Okay, so you begin kind of getting ready to you're just basically readying an action, and even though it's outside of combat, I'll say that you can ready this action. You're just gonna fireball if you ever see the thing open.
Yes.
Okay. So you're just kind of preparing the spell. You watch as Elysia have, I imagine it's your wand of fireballs that you have at the ready. You kind of get ready for that. Jenny, Krixus, what are you guys up to?
Just blasting this boy on repeat.
All right, so you begin to just lay, both of you begin to just lay into this creature with spells and with Eldritch Blasts. You fire the Eldritch Blast that you begin shooting now. Now that the clam has kind of completely closed up and gone into this more defensive posture, you're watching as every Eldritch Blast that you're sending at it is just harmlessly just kind of ricocheting away. Likewise, Krixus, you're watching as the lightning energy that you're calling down from the storm cloud above is just kind of filtering and diffusing around the outside of the shell, having pretty much no effect right now. Almost as if this creature seems to have, by clamming itself up like this, has made itself kind of immune to damage. And as you guys are starting to do this more and more, you start to see the creature spinning around in place while in this closed shell mode. And it's creating something of a whirlwind around itself as it's more and more just starting to kind of build up this momentum, just spinning around. Its shell is abnormally difficult to penetrate, it looks like.
Interesting.
Do you guys do anything as it's kind of winding whatever it's doing up? Are you guys still there, just kind of firing at it with everything you got, or?
I mean, once I see that it's not penetrating and has no effect, I mean, I keep the...
you keep the call lightning, I imagine. You don't just break concentration, but yeah. At the moment, it does not appear to be penetrating. And that kind of spinning motion is reaching even more and more of a fever pitch.
If it gets to the point that something like a whirlwind starts coming my way, I'm going to wild shape and GTFO.
Okay, and the person whose way that it comes is Sotaria, actually. As you are the one that is actually closest, so this certainly makes sense. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. That is going to be an 11. That is going to unfortunately going to fail. As all of a sudden you're watching this creature just kind of spin and kick up dust around itself. The creature just starts spinning towards you, and all of a sudden, in a lightning motion, it just flies at the area of the ground where you are, kind of spinning through the air, and kind of just crashes into you, using its shell as a using its shell and its kind of hardness as a battering ram, and you take 36 points of bludgeoning damage, and you're just catapulted back. You get knocked back kind of 20 feet as it crashes into you and into the side, as Clamora just kind of keeps spinning onward and crashes into a building, continuing to just kind of deal damage to the town around it. This creature is terrifying. What do you all do?
Krixus, you're a chef. Any ideas on how to shuck this clam?
Well, I don't have a knife big enough to go through it, if that's what you mean.
Oh, we lost Mizra. Bring her back. As you guys are kind of having this conversation, you see the halfling that you had sent off before Elysia kind of comes running back over to you, and he's looking kind of like wide-eyed and panicked. And as he goes back over to you, he goes, "I wasn't mistaken about that. There's something down there. I'm not. It's just kind of hanging out down there. I don't know what it is, but it's down there."
Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yes.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. No, I was trying to say evasion and you guys didn't hear me.
Oh. So do you have evasion would be if you would take
Yeah, if they fail, they take half.
Okay, cool. So you take half there.
So
But,
so how much was that? It was half?
18.
Thank you.
He goes, "Elysia, you were saying you might be able to use it against... I put some bait in the water and it didn't come up or anything. I don't really know how to do that."
Krixus, do you have I don't know, a meat kind of dish? Something that a big fish thing might like?
Well, I have all kinds of things. Let me look in my bag. How about these? And I pull out some stink heads, which are basically rotten fish heads that are delicious.
Delicious asterisk.
It's a delicacy.
Those don't look appealing, but maybe I think it's better if you handle this and not me. And he just kind of like looks over at Clamora and he goes, "Come with me." And he begins kind of just running away over towards the docks.
Okay, I'll follow him.
I'll head that way as well.
And you watch as he begins kind of working his way over there. You are all able to reach the docks ahead of him. Again, he's not particularly quick, but Clamora's kind of destruction kind of continues in the background, as you can see a lot of like a lot of the halflings here who've evacuated the village are kind of lined up like around and along the lake, and they're just kind of like watching their home be destroyed from a distance, kind of just wondering why this terrible thing has been brought upon them. He goes, "All right, well, let's I got a rowboat here. I saw him down in the middle. So I can row you out if you think it's a good idea, Elysia."
Let's go for it. Then I produce a bucket and throw the Swedish fish stink heads in it, and a few other just random bits of things.
Okay, yeah, you put together a
chum bucket. Yes.
Yeah, so you put together a chum bucket and begin kind of he rows you out onto the lake. Do all of you come out into the boat, or some of you kind of staying closer to shore, or some of you staying around Clamora? Like, what are you all doing?
I'll stay by Clamora.
You're just keeping an eye?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Elysia, Sotaria? What are you guys doing?
If there's room enough for the halfling, Krixus, and I'll go.
I'll stay on the dock.
Okay. Sotaria, you hang back a little bit, and you are kind of closer back towards where Jenny is at the moment, but Krixus and Elysia, the two of you begin to row out onto the lake, and the halfling kind of looks over the two of you. So, I noticed something when I was out here before. There's all sorts of codfish that have been swimming. They don't usually school quite so much, but they've been swimming around in big groups, and I always see the shadow sort of underneath that whole area. And he kind of wheels you out, and I'd like you to both make me a perception check as he's kind of peering down in the water. This is around where it was.
I'll hit Krixus with that guidance for this.
Ooh. Krixus, you have an extra D4.
Excellent. One moment.
14. And go ahead and roll me the extra D4. Um, 15. You're not able to make out much as you're looking beneath the waves here, but somewhere deep beneath the water, just for a moment, Krixus, you see what looks like a very, very large fish that's just kind of sleeking and swimming in the water below. It doesn't. It looks like it almost has. It looks like it almost has legs, because you can see something like feet in between where the tail is, but the front of it is a lot more. The front of it looks almost just like a big fish that's swimming down there, and that's what you see from the shadow. You're not really able to make out much else, but he's not wrong. There's something down there.
It looks large?
It looks very big.
Okay. So in my best inappropriate way, I move my mouth several times, and in the middle of it I go, Codzilla.
And
continue to move my mouth.
Yeah, you move your mouth. You do a poor dub. I got ya.
Yes.
You do what? He looks over at you, and he goes, "Yeah, how did you know? I was kind of like, you know how I came up with that name Clamora? I was also thinking about calling this one Codzilla because it was hanging out with all the cod. That's so crazy that we thought of the same name. You think you can?" Looking again towards you, Elysia, since you had suggested this before, you think you can do something with it?
I dump in the chum.
You dump the chum into the water beneath, or into the water, and some of the cod kind of clear away a little bit, and you don't see... It doesn't seem to it doesn't seem to even really notice that the top of the water's been chummed. It's down there relatively deep. And you don't immediately it's just, you don't have its attention wherever it is down there.
You know what? I have another idea.
Do you have a nuke?
Let's row the boat away from here, closer to the dock.
Interesting. All right, so you begin stepping back. Meanwhile, Jenny, you're hanging near Clamora, right?
Yeah.
You're holding back, and Sotaria, I think you're around this area as well. You know, I imagine keeping an eye both on your friends out on the water and on Jenny. Jenny, you're keeping a vigil, and I imagine keeping enough distance to not get... I assume you're trying to not get hit with a big, giant bludgeoning spin.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to open up.
Okay. It's been pretty defensive ever since that attack, but one thing that you do notice... Actually, Jenny, make me a perception check to see if you notice this.
Yeah, sure.
Sotaria, you can as well if you would like.
12.
Hold on. Use the perception. Oh wait, that's not it.
I'll 16. Okay. Sotaria, you're actually the one that notices, and you see in the top of a building that Clamora is pretty near to right now. You can see that there's what looks like a small halfling child who's just kind of standing on the roof of one of the buildings looking out at Clamora, and Clamora is getting kind of closer and closer to their building. It looks like in just like the carnage and the rubble, a couple of buildings around just the town have caught fire, and it looks like they can't get out of their building right now. And so they're just looking on at the destruction and seeing that, like, you know, just hoping Clamora doesn't destroy their house. Clamora is getting closer and closer.
Sotaria looks over at Jenny and basically yells, "There's a kid in that building over there!"
Jenny, your eyes are brought to the child.
I'll walk up to Sotaria and boop them on the nose, casting fly.
Okay.
Off you go.
She grumbles, "Why am I in a group with a bunch of spellcasters?"
Sotaria, you begin flying off over towards the kid?
Yes.
Okay. And Jenny, you kind of maintain vigil, and you watch as Sotaria begins kind of lilting over there. Meanwhile, back at the docks, Elysia and Krixus are in a boat. What do you guys... Krixus, you mentioned you had a plan. You row a little bit back closer to the docks. What do you do?
I will call lightning on the spot where I dropped the chum, trying to stir the waters to bring out Codzilla.
I don't know how Call Lightning works, but for narrative purposes, I can't remember the duration on it. We'll say that this is the same. How long does Call Lightning last?
I can tell you in just one moment.
Which is how long it lasts.
It doesn't matter. It's regardless. You still have the same Call Lightning.
10 minutes.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly. You do still have the same Call Lightning, and you begin just bringing lightning bolts down onto the water at the center. Another kind of crash, and you begin to hear a primordial sound that comes from the depths below. It's deep and it's resonant, and I can't make it, and I won't try to. But the water begins to kind of like shake and ripple. The more of these kind of lightning bolts that you begin to bring down and that crash into the lake at the center, and you begin to see that shadow in the water growing closer and closer to your boat. What Elysia, Krixus, what do you guys do?
Let's go back to our party.
Are you guys kind of like running away, or are you standing there, or what's your deal?
Go back to our other party mates.
Okay.
Run and hope that it chases us?
Yeah. Go ahead and make me... currently, you see your halfling friend starts to kind of like row away as he sees the shadow getting closer, like rowing as fast as he can. You guys aren't moving very fast right now, and the shadow is getting closer pretty quickly.
Yes.
At this point, I would actually like you guys to roll for initiative.
Row away! Row away!
Krixus, take the oars.
Yes, I will take the oars.
the first to act in this instance is going to be you, Sotaria, which is very good. Sotaria, you were kind of already halfway up in the air, and you can see Clamora is lining up now on the building where that little kid is.
I go and swoop in and try and grab the kid and fly off to a safe distance.
Okay, you have 60 feet of fly speed. You can dash, run down, grab the child. You're on top of the roof, and that's about 60 feet, which means I'm not gonna, like, they're very willing to be grabbed as they look up at you and go, "Thank you very much." And they kind of, like, grab onto just, like, one of your legs and just hold on. Which direction do you go? You can go...
Basically...
Do you go, like, up? Do you go lateral? What do you do?
I'm going lateral, but I'm going... Well, actually, wait. I guess I'm going up, then I'm going lateral. Basically, half. Half up, half lateral, and I'm heading toward in the direction where the rest of the townspeople went.
Okay. You begin kind of moving the child away a bit.
Yeah.
The next turn is Clamora's turn. And you watch as Clamora, at this point, as they kind of see you and the kid kind of flying upwards and on the top of this building, you can see that they were opening up their mouth and, like, getting ready to do something. Which, Jenny, I think that even though you didn't have a ready to action, I think you have a ready to action.
Okay.
For when they begin to open their mouth. What do you want to do?
Just out of curiosity, do I see if they have a pearl in their mouth or not?
It's tough to say. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Okay.
10?
Damn.
You're not sure.
Okay.
But a 20 and a 16 with open mouth are both going to... 20 or 16 with open mouth are both going to hit. You fire 2 bolts inwards, and you can see it kind of, like, grumbles a little bit at the strike. That's another... It already took some damage, and that's another 23 that it takes. It lets out this torrent of what look like bubbles that fly out of its mouth, as it seems to use some type of bubble breath. And it crashes into the building. You watch as these bubbles of just what look like hot steam and water that it exhales crash into the building that you were just on, completely obliterating it, and just steam kind of pours up from the space. Sotaria, as you are right to go upwards. And not to the side as you get out of the cone of that. And that is going to bring us next in initiative to... it is a hidden individual in initiative. And so you were kind of starting to row away. You didn't have quite time to get far enough away before underneath you, you hear that sound, that deep, bassy roar once again. And Krixus and Elysia, you can see emerging and getting closer and closer is that shadow. It creeps up to right beneath the boat. And you can see that from a distance, the silhouette was dark. As it's getting closer, you can see the skin of this creature is actually like a pale, almost whitish pink color, a tan color. And as it begins emerging, it does so directly beneath the boat. And you find yourselves being kind of, like, hoisted upwards and into the air. I need both of you to make me dexterity saving throws.
I'm not bad at this. I'm horrible at it.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Valwraith and Elysia, both of you come crashing down out of the boat and into the water. As the boat falls, I'm going to say you're going to take... Actually, you're not actually going to even take that much damage from this, because it's into water, and it's not that far at the point that you fall. So you guys only each take 5 points of damage as you fall into the water below. But you watch higher up in the boat, you see the creature that now emerges. The head of it looks like... Well, it looks like a giant cod, but on its back it has terrible spikes. It has kind of reaching down into 2 instead of arms, it just has these two kind of like fins that are flopping around kind of helplessly, a long kind of terrible tail that leads into two legs, and Codzilla has emerged. As it kind of echoes out of the water, it kind of looks around, the king of pondfish, as it observes the as it kind of observes the space, and it lets out just this terrible, it's just a really good Godzilla-like roar that it lets out that I, again, cannot do. And it kind of locks eyes, and it sees across the way the big old clam. As it begins heading out, you can see that your halfling that hired you is currently kind of on its head, looking very scared. The boat kind of resting on its shoulder. And he looks down at you guys like, what do I do? That's all for Codzilla's turn. Codzilla has officially joined the battle. Who would like to, Oh wait, that's not the one that I want. I want this one. There we go.
Ah, there we go.
That was the wrong track.
Yep.
All right. Just so that's going to bring us to Elysia. What would you like to do, Elysia?
Krixus, can you help our friend there and get to shore yourself?
You guys are pretty near the shoreline. You guys, like, as you kind of catch yourself, you're about like neck deep in water right now, but you're near the edge of the lake. You can stand.
Except for our little friend. And I just kind of grab him by the collar and start waddling to shore.
Well, he's on top of
Yeah, he's on top of
Godzilla's head.
Godzilla. He's stuck on Godzilla's shoulder, where it looks that this giant fish with its like kind of dumb. It's a very stupid looking head that Godzilla had. It's just a big fish on top of a Godzilla body. Yeah, anyway, Elysia, what do you want to do? You kind of say this, you give these kind of message to Krixus, but you got your whole turn ahead of you.
Elysia will, in the brilliant light of the storm and the great creature before her, enter her radiance and fly up to land atop Codzilla.
You alight gently on Codzilla's shoulder, I imagine, next to where the boat is.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of climb up there, and the halfling kind of looks over. Am I just kind of here for the long haul, or?
It might be safer to jump out and try to cannonball into the water while there's water below us instead of...
You're halfway through your sentence, and just the minute you say it might be safer to jump, he just throws himself off of Codzilla and into the water. And a moment later, you see, like, him emerge from the depths with kind of like a half thumb up, like, I kind of made it. Like, doesn't look like he's in the best situation he's ever been in. And Elysia, you now ride astride Codzilla, which brings us next to you, Jenny. What do you want to do, Jenny?
The clam didn't close shut after I blasted it?
After the clam used its bubble breath.
He used its bubble breath, right?
Yeah, the clam used its big bubble breath, and then at the end of its turn, it closed shut again. So currently the clam is closed. Currently the clam is closed is a bit of alliteration.
Well, since I use a 4th level spell slot to cast Fly, I too shall alight upon the air.
Oh, cool. Oh, yes. But of course, Warlock.
Yeah.
I forget that you're not a paladin sometimes.
What do you mean? I'm obviously a paladin.
Yes, but of course. I forget that you're a paladin that took the oath of being able to cast a 4th level fly spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go up into the air and then hold action to shoot the boy when he open up again.
All right, ready in action to, I assume, Eldritch Blast?
Yeah.
All right.
Range smite.
Yeah, you get ready to Divine Smite when the clam opens its mouth. That's going to bring us to Krixus, I believe.
Yes. Well, the clam's opening its shell. Wham, bam, and...
Wham, bam, thank you, clam.
Thank you, clam, exactly. 1 second.
I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. The clam is currently closed.
Oh, it's closed?
Yes, I'm my mistake.
I will hold my action then.
Pete, we lost Misra.
Waiting for it to open its mouth and immediately call lightning on it.
The moment it, moment its mouth opens, you will call lightning. Very good. That is going to be all for your turn in that case, which I believe brings us around to the top of the order, which is you, Sotaria. You're still holding a little kid who's looking up at you, kind of eyes wide and very scared. There's a big clam. You can also see a giant fish monster that Elysia is currently on the shoulder of, stomping towards the clam.
Well, he doesn't have anything interesting. She basically goes and tells the lands and basically tells the kid, "Here, go. Run. The rest of your people went that away, and I need you to run that away, please."
The kid just kind of like looks at you. Thank you. Is that
You're welcome.
Manipulation and the whole Bartholomew thing? And they say it perfectly. They run off and kind of scamper into the woods as you place them down. And then you said you're going to use your action to dash over and get up with everyone else, form ranks essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Sotaria, you place the child down gently and then go join up with your allies. You can get on you're flying right now. You can hop on the other shoulder of Codzilla if you wanted to.
Actually, yeah, I think I will do that, and I'm going to basically ready the dagger of venom. As soon as he opens up again.
You tossing it?
I'm not tossing it. I'm basically going with it. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll toss it. Yeah, I'll toss it.
Getting ready to throw the dagger of venom the next time the creature opens up. You might not recover it immediately, but Bartholomew will always help you recover stuff like that eventually, so you don't have to be stressed about that. So you get ready for that action, and that brings us to Clamora, and you watch as Clamora's eyes kind of reopen for a moment as it kind of catches itself, and it kind of lets out another kind of grumble from within as it locks eyes with Codzilla across the way, and you see, well, for one thing, it's going to see if it recharges its bubble breath. Which it does, actually. And you watch as it opens up and begins using this bubble breath again.
Anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, you blast. You got some blasts ready. Also, can you give me a call lightning?
Sure can.
It has advantage on saving throws against magic, but it still fails. 13 and 12, unfortunately, are both going to miss. But it does take a full 19 points of lightning damage. Oh my god! Roll damage on that dagger of venom.
And I'm aiming for the eye, of course.
Natch. It needs to make a Constitution saving throw against that poison, right?
Give me a minute. Because I hardly ever use this thing, and I figured it'd be good to use it now.
I don't actually. This isn't a magical effect, so it wouldn't have advantage on it, but it does succeed. Does it take half damage on a success?
I
will just assume it does. That's 18 points of damage total, some of it poison, and you watch as the dagger of venom flies. Clamor lets out this terrible burst of steam. There's a terrible bolt of lightning that comes down, crashing into it, a couple of eldritch blasts, as it takes all of this damage in the moment that it opens up to use its bubble breath technique. But also, it's a very big cone, and it's aimed directly at Codzilla. Codzilla is going to make a... dexterity saving throw, which it also has advantage on saves against magic.
do the two people on Codzilla's shoulders?
Yep. I also need Elysia and Sotaria. I need both of you to make me dexterity saving throws from the bubble breath. 17 is going to succeed. A 13 is not.
We're going to go favored by the gods.
That's a great idea.
That's a 19.
This is a very good time to do this. So you're going to take, both of you are going to take half damage of 37 points of fire damage, which reduces to, I can't do math,
16?
18 points of damage for both of you. Actually, you succeed, Sotaria, so you take no damage, actually.
Okay.
Because of your evasion, so you're good. And Elysia, you take 16 points of fire damage from this bubble breath. The rest of you are kind of spread out and in different locations, so you're not affected by it. That's all for Clamor's turn. On Codzilla's turn, you watch as the big kind of like spikes on the back of its body begin to kind of like vroom, 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 light up and glow, and you watch as Codzilla opens its mouth, and it just shoots out this terrible blast of radiant energy that just fires in a laser beam from its mouth. It strikes into Clamora. Clamor is going to make a dex save for fails. You watch as this radiant damage beam strikes into Clamora. You watch as the top of the clamshell just gets kind of like withered and like just completely like disintegrated at points. And as Clamora is kind of left, you can now see that there's just an opening in the clamshell that has been burned through by this radiation beam. As Codzilla has just left a hole in Clamora. And we move next in, and Codzilla locks in and begins just kind of moving forward to get up into like melee range. You guys are right up next to Clamora as the two are getting ready to clash more directly. That's going to bring us to Jenny, I believe.
How far away am I from Clam?
Again, you're as far as that you say that you want to have been.
All right, I'm gonna fly down, and with my Frankenblade held high, I will booming blade directly into Clamora.
Okay, so you're gonna go and just strike Clamora melee directly?
I'm gonna fly into the opening.
Oh shit. Okay. Go ahead and make me a go ahead and make it. Oh my god, that's definitely gonna hit.
Could I have Hexblade's cursed him as well?
I think you actually said before that you cursed him, so.
Yeah. I used Hex before though.
Oh. Yeah, so you can have Hexblade cursed. Is it a bonus action, right?
So that's an additional 3, and then let me just quickly look at Booming Blade because I didn't make a macro for it. And so it is an extra 1d8, and if he moves, an additional 2d8. Or no, an additional 3d8. So just one more d8 for now.
Okay.
And then the 3 damage from my Hexblade's curse. So 20 total.
20 points of damage you deal.
Yep.
In a just paladin, I mean, what can I call it but a paladin smite, as you bring your Frankenblade down and deliver justice. You strike and you hear the creature kind of like gurgle, and it kind of reflexively closes its mouth again, but there's now a hole in its defense, which there's nothing you can do about it. Also, for starting or for ending your turn inside the mouth of Clamora, you do take, at the end of your turn, oh my god, 21 points of fire damage, as the inside of Clamora's mouth is just hot steam that's just kind of moving and whirling about. I
need to make a con save for our fly spell, which is still up.
Okay. Oh yeah, we're good. It looks low because the numbers are so high, but that's just what you need. That's going to bring us next. I believe it was Elysia next.
Okay, we have a kaiju and a flying rogue. So I'm just gonna twin spell greater invisibility on Codzilla and Sotaria.
Oh my god!
I love you so much.
Elysia, you reach out and touch Codzilla, and you can't see Codzilla through the invisibility, but somehow you just know they just kind of like look around, their big dumb fish eyes kind of confused, and stare at their fins for a moment before glaring back down at Gamera and getting ready to just absolutely. I mean, I didn't say Gamera. That's not true, and we don't use copyrighted projects.
It was Clamora. Yeah.
Yep.
I
said
definitely heard
way.
Clamora.
That's what I heard.
I totally heard that too.
I heard that too.
Weird. And Sotaria, you are also now greater invisible. And Elysia, you're just standing on the air. It's very cool looking.
And we're definitely not waiting for Chumra.
Yes.
Well, that's to heal everyone after it's all over.
I fly up and away from the conflict 30 feet.
Okay. You get up into the air. Checks out. And that's gonna bring us to Krixus. What do you want to do, Krixus?
Well, I mean, has it been 10 minutes?
I think you got a couple of rounds left.
Awesome.
Just
I'm
maintaining.
going for that giant gaping hole.
Fuck.
Oh no! Jenny, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw. That's an honest to God mistake right there.
Hey, made the save.
You couldn't have known.
In the heat of battle.
Yeah, no, that's a reasonable error.
Yeah.
Clamora, oh wow, Clamora actually succeeds on that one. Clamora's not good at those, but made it that time.
Oh boy.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
21 points of lightning damage as the lightning bolt crashes down into Clamora's mouth, but Clamora doesn't seem to like it all that much either. And anything else on your turn, Krixus?
That's all I'm gonna do for now.
Okay. That's gonna bring us to Sotaria. What do you want to do, Sotaria? You're invisible.
I'm invisible, and I still got fly on me, right?
Yep.
Hold on.
Oh, wait.
Nope.
Oh, no, your fly just disappeared.
Damn.
Literally just now.
Just now. You were like,
Damn.
I still got fly on me, right? And you go to just hover off of Codzilla, and you just realize you're not flying anymore, and you're just standing on the invisible Codzilla.
Man, I was about to do a dive bomb attack too. Damn it, Krixus!
There's still a way to do a dive bomb attack. It's just a little bit riskier. Because Godzilla is right up next to Clamora, and there is an open hole.
Yes, there is an open hole, but I gotta be a little bit on the not as reckless because I'm kind of low on health. So longbow it is. I take out my longbow.
That works. Go ahead and make an attack roll with advantage because you are invisible.
Nice.
Roll to see if you crit. You got the advantage.
Okay,
Yeah, no. Go ahead and roll damage on that 22.
and I do get sneak attack, right?
You do get sneak attack. You definitely have an ally within 5 feet. Jenny, you see is through the piercing in the shell of Clamora, an arrow just. You have two. Oh wait, no, you're right. Whenever you use a longbow for just a moment, I think that you're a ranger. So I think you have two attacks. But the arrow flies through and strikes true into the tongue of Clamora within. Anything else on your turn? Big chunk of damage.
I got nothing else I can do, so let's gonna say nope.
It's Clamora's turn. Clamora is going to open its shell, and it's gonna try and just chomp down on Codzilla, but this attack
Does
is all...
count as moving for the purpose of Booming Blade?
Yeah, I'll say so. Go ahead and roll,
What?
This creature's so large, any distance, I think, would trigger the spell. Like, it moving its arm would just, like, be the distance you need for Booming Blade.
Does this clam have arms?
If saying, like, in a situation where it had proportional
Sure.
arms, you know?
I was worried for a moment.
14 points of booming damage. What is it? Thunder damage?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And the clam kind of opens its huge shell and goes to chomp down. The chomp hits Codzilla inevitably, but also, since you're kind of hanging on Codzilla's shoulder, this is going to be an attack against you, Sotaria. That's a 17 to hit. Does that get you?
He has disadvantages. They're invisible.
Oh, that's true. Oh, he has a disadvantage on both. Oh, that's actually an 11 to hit Sotaria. I assume that does not hit you.
Not a bit.
It goes to just kind of, you see it just kind of reaches out, and it can't really miss Codzilla. It's just kind of, it just kind of like clamps down, and you see it's like kind of struggle in the air, as it's just got its mouth very awkwardly open now, with an invisible Codzilla somewhere in its grasp. And Sotaria, you're able to, if you would like, as you dodge this, you can kind of hop onto the back of Clamor if you want. Or you can stay on Codzilla's shoulder.
I think it's better for me to stay on Codzilla's shoulder. Also,
Very
too,
well.
Can I see in that hole? I need to know if there's a pearl in there.
Make another perception check.
Do
Just
it.
give you a free one right now. You see, maybe just ever so slightly, a glint of something within glittering. And that's going to bring us to Codzilla's turn. Codzilla is going to make a check with advantage here. Oh my goodness! You watch as
God.
You guys watch as two handprints appear in the outer shell of Codzilla as bits of Clamor just kind of like break and crush and shatter. Or I'm sorry, fin prints, as you can see the impression of Godzilla's fins on the outside of it. And then you just watch as Clamor's mouth, which is closed, just starts to slowly spread open and kind of crack and rip backwards as Clamor is just being pulled and dragged open by a giant invisible force. And Clamor is now essentially restrained and completely open. It no longer has any benefits of its defenses. And Codzilla's going to see if it recharges its radiation beam just at the end of its turn.
Please, dude. Oh, damn it.
But Clamor has been completely exposed. Also, they're not looking just great in general. As a lot of sinew got torn when they did that. Now that it's completely open, Sotaria, there is definitely a pearl in there. That's going to bring us to Elysia. What do you want to do, Elysia?
I will fly up another 30 feet, and this time come 30 feet near. And I'm just gonna do a 4th level guiding bolt blast right down into the open mouth of Clamor.
Go ahead and make me an attack with advantage. You can see by the handprints where Codzilla is and know where not to fire. Even though you know he's kind of somewhere around there. 23. Roll damage on that, because that is definitely going to hit. 4th level. Oh yeah, that's 21 points of radiant damage. As Clamor kind of alights with the divine energy of Guiding Bolt, you can see that pearl is glimmering and casting brilliant light all over the place. Anything else on your turn, Elysia? Clamor is looking rough.
I will, as a bonus action, burn a 2nd level spell for sorcery points.
Nice.
Very good. That's going to bring us next in initiative to... Jenny, did you get skipped?
I think so.
Yeah, Jenny, you got skipped. I'm sorry. It's your turn now, Jenny.
Okay.
You were supposed to be after... you were supposed to be before Elysia, so it's not too bad.
Oh, I forgot. Radiant Soul on that. An additional...
Oh, shit. Okay. So total was actually 29. Okay. What do you want to do, Jenny?
Bonus action Maddening Hex. So 4 damage.
Okay, it just takes 4 damage.
Yep. And then, since I have advantage, we're going to do the Frankenblade Booming Blade combo again. So this is advantage, correct?
Yep, you absolutely are at advantage.
20.
Okay. That's going to hit for 10.
Additional D8 plus 3.
18.
19, 20, 21.
21. Okay, great. Oh wait, why did I say 18? Wouldn't it be 15? So wouldn't it be 18? Just total.
15 plus the Maddening Hex is 4.
Oh, the 4. So
then...
yeah, okay, great. 21. So yeah, they take another 21 points of damage. You can see the inside of their mouth is becoming charred.
Can I, item interaction, take the pearl?
You can. It's very large. It would be like, it's like a person-sized pearl. So you would have to like really like reach down and pick this thing up. So I don't know if you can.
I would have to use an action.
Yeah, you'd have to like. It would be like grappling something to pick this thing up.
Nah, I'm a head out.
Okay. Yeah, and you actually can. Before you were kind of stuck, unless you could fly up out that hole, but now you can just walk out the side because it's open. So you jump, you have to jump down like a small gap, but you do so, and you are now on the ground outside of Clamora. As the turn passes...
Do I take any falling damage?
You would take, I was giving you credit, there was a d6, there was a 10-foot gap that I had imagined, so 5 points.
Tomb of Lemistus!
I was just giving you credit, but you block it, you don't take that falling damage.
Perfect timing.
Brings us next.
I jump out, I go, and then turn into ice.
You got me with that one. Alright, Krixus, it's your turn.
You already know what's happening.
They're gonna make that dexterity saving throw with disadvantage, which is normal, then, because they are restrained. That's just
and I'm aiming for the center because I don't want to hit where
well, Jenny's out of the way. Jenny's out of the way, so you're safe.
I don't want to hit Codzilla either.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're trying to find the you're trying to thread that needle. Go ahead and roll damage.
Ooh, 22.
Would you care to describe the killing blow on Clamora?
Yes, I want that lightning bolt to shoot right in the middle, and as it does, I want that pearl to just drop out ever so gently and just roll at the feet of Codzilla as I make tasty fried clam bits.
And the smell of delicious fried seafood begins to waft through the air as the lightning bolt crackles through, filling the air with kind of blue and white light. And after kind of a moment of settling, you watch as... or actually, you don't see, you just hear the sound of Codzilla kind of leaning back, because Godzilla's still invisible, leaning back and unleashing just a terrible roar, and you watch as another one of those radiation beams just shoots off into the sky in victory over its foe.
I will go, thank you, Kojira! Thank you so much for helping us.
And you watch as Codzilla... or you don't watch as Codzilla, you just see slowly Codzilla just kind of turn around and begin walking backwards and out of the space, and you see just kind of like an interruption in the sea as Codzilla slowly retreats into the water beneath
just
the lake.
Massive displaced water.
Yep, just big displaced water. It's very strange looking.
I must mark down where this place is. I want to visit him again.
You do this, and you guys have successfully defeated Clamora, and have an everlasting friend in Codzilla. You watch as the people around here kind of cheer and exclaim in victory,
Meanwhile, you see that pearl walking off in someone's invisible hands.
The pearl just seems to fly away. Who knows what could have happened to it? The halflings kind of cheer for your victory. You have a moment with everyone as they celebrate, and almost immediately begin the hard work of rebuilding after this catastrophe changed for the better. With that, you've successfully completed this adventure. Each of you earns, those of you that can earn 2 points of experience do so. Each of you earns 300 Bartholomew bucks, and you, that's it.
It's been a long, hard journey, but Jenny is finally level 8.
Ooh, close.
Lovely.
Which means they now have 20 charisma.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Would any of you like to shop?
Yes, please.
Indeed.
You return to the shop. Greetings, adventurers. I trust that everything went well.
Yes, Bartholomew. I would like to do a bag pull if possible.
We can certainly do that. Go ahead and roll me a D1000. Let's see. I can't.
790.
Very nice.
Ooh, nice roll.
Bartholomew, before you tell me any more, can I get the jingle?
If you need a magic item, you know where to stop. Just come on down. It's your only choice, and you don't hear the end of it because instead, a strange sound pierces your ear as you grab onto one kind of strange item. The next one is after you kind of drop that, it appears to be something. It appears to be something very sticky, and you almost don't have a choice but to pull it out, but you get it off your hand, and instead grab what appears to be a small crystal, and as you pull it out, it's actually, it's a piece of amber, and you can see that within it there is encased what appears to be a lock of hair. And while you're kind of holding on to it, you can hear just strange, ominous, like otherworldly whispers almost. And Bartholomew speaks up, this is the unruly lock of the tyrant. Well, of course, it is at its base a spellcasting focus that grants an additional +1 attack and damage rolls made using it. But also, during Jeremy's adventures, you may commune with an otherworldly entity and plead for one of the following, which will be he will be obligated to provide. Could get some more hit points, some more damage, or perhaps another try at something. This focus can't be used this way again until the next dawn. You've gotten the ability to ask Jeremy for a boon when you adventure with Jeremy.
It is the counterpart
it is the
to
parallel.
The bow tie.
Yes, to the bow tie of the, I can't remember what I was, the butcher, the devil, something like that.
Like that.
That's been in the bag for a long time.
Yeah, that's an ancient one. So, anyone else have anything they'd like to purchase?
I'm saving for now.
I'd like to make a run of the bag if I could.
Please roll away.
985.
Oh my god. Jesus. All right.
Wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Here's
fourth highest roll ever. You deserve it, my dude.
Many thanks, many thanks.
Oh my god, let's
Jeremy.
see what this is.
You know it to be true, Pete.
Cool. You reach into the bag, and your hand passes over what feels like a book, a dusty tome. It does not it does not really call to you as you touch it, but you do feel an old power within it. The next one, perhaps it's an axe. It has holes in it, like it's been used for quite a long time, maybe rusted through. But you feel this deep, deep anger as you touch it. But while you're near it, what you feel is an intense warmth, which certainly appeals to you, Elysia. And as you pull it out, you can see what you grab within. It appears to be a small vial of red liquid.
Oh.
And Bartholomew looks over at you, and his eyes kind of widen as you pull it out. And Bartholomew speaks up. This... This is a potent item. If you drink it, Elysia, you will have immense power. I've never used it. But it will offer you power the likes of which the world has never seen. But anyone who drinks this particular vial will, when the flames that they are granted by it complete, well, they will fall to ash. And I don't think my magic could even bring you back from this. It is one of the most powerful items I've ever held. It is called the Heart of Fire. And you have gained the Heart of Fire, an item which, for a brief moment, allows you to turn into a blazing phoenix with the power to reshape the world in fire however they so desire. Just an immense strength. And then, as that power wanes, you would fall to ash. That is the Heart of Fire that you've pulled.
Okay.
Very nice.
Bartholomew looks over at you. I know that this is a great responsibility. Do with it what you will. And he kind of looks, knowing the gravity of the item that you've been given. Usually when something powerful like this is pulled from the bag, you see him just get very upset. Here, he just looks a bit wary. With nervous, even. With that, would anyone else like to pull something from the bag?
That would be me.
Sotaria, go ahead and roll me a D1000.
Okay,
you for the
I
game,
think this
Pete.
is right. No, it didn't roll it right. What is it again?
/R1D1000.
That's what I thought I put. Oh, I didn't. Okay, I saw what I did wrong. Never mind.
Yep.
I saw what I did wrong.
Best of luck to you.
Roll
And
1,000. Roll 1,000.
I really want to. Oh, dang it. What did I do wrong? Oh. Duh. D. Come on. Come on, be nice. There it goes.
Oh. Hey!
Not
682. Yeah, good rolls all around tonight. Jeez. You reach into the bag and you find within, interesting. Your hand grasps at first what appears to be a sword, which you already have your dagger, there's no need. A small trinket, which you're hoping for something a little bigger. But what you end up grabbing is a wand. And as you kind of remove it, you look at it, and Bartholomew says, this is a wand of binding. While you're holding it, you can expend some of the charges to cast... it has 7 of those. You can spend 5 charges to cast the Hold Monster spell, or 2 to cast the Hold Person spell. Additionally, you can expend 1 charge while holding it and use your reaction to gain advantage on a saving throw you make to avoid being paralyzed or restrained. Or to escape a grapple. Advantage on that as well. So you've gotten the Wand of Binding. Jeremy, is that a classic? Or is that a...
Pete, that is from the Dungeon Master's Guide classic.
How do I not know this item? It's never...
Because you won't ever let me have it.
Well, you've gained the Wand of Binding, and congratulations on your pull. And can I get anything for anyone else?
No, I'm good.
All right. With that, we'll be back in just a moment with our third and final adventure.